Child, this is a spin a block again. But I want to spin a block on this because I want to see what all this source told me that Krusty said that's going to come to pass.
Got some Gypsy Rose tea that's about to knock your socks right off. But before I tell you, this is all alleged. Now, I have a source that just told me Gypsy Rose and Ken will be engaged very soon to save face. She wants to be sure that Ken is not going to leave her. We already saw that kind of at the end of the Lifetime series, but I really wasn't anticipating an engagement, simply because I just didn't feel like Ken wanted to marry her. But it said that it's going to be really soon. I wouldn't be surprised if it was by the end of the week. Now wait, if you think I just dropped some tea, I got so much more to tell you. Krusty Blanchard wants the baby. And Ken has agreed that at first sign of Gypsy using the baby for manipulative or financial tactics, that he'll leave and apply for sole custody with Krusty supporting him. But Krusty wants to have sole guardian of the baby and says that Gypsy is unfit to be a mother. She can't even take care of herself, so how could she take care of the baby? And if it came down to it, she'd kick Gypsy out and allow Ken and the baby to stay if it means having control. Krusty despises Gypsy so much and has vented to so many family members a lot about her being selfish, immature, lazy, and entitled. Rod is in the middle right now, but Mia is done. Gypsy found out yesterday about the plan for the baby and flipped. Huge argument. And it ended with Gypsy crying, claiming she was having miscarriage pains due to the stress from Krusty putting pressure on her to go back to school and get a career while she helps the baby. It gets better. Children's Services has already reached out, asking to meet and discuss whether any support is needed, aka they are already keeping tabs on Gypsy. He cannot stand Krusty or Mia, especially Mia, because Mia has the sense that it's not a secret that she's jealous of her. A plan is for Krusty to tell Parole that Gypsy can't stay there anymore, and so leaving Gypsy having to go back, in which case the baby gets handed straight to the dad or her parents. Ryan is still being strung along and contacted every time Gypsy argues with Ken or Krusty, and that's why he's so mad about them talks about Ken needing to get a job, because she's feeding him a victim storyline as usual and keeping him as backup in case she needs to use his address again when it all goes wrong for good. Gypsy hates being told what to do and having to watch Krusty be the woman of the house as she needs to be in control. She's desperately trying to present as them getting along and the appearance for the sake of Parole watching her. She's spiraling, and now she found out about Ken and Krusty having conversations about the baby's future and that it may not involve her, and she's about to do something drastic. Apparently, she's given Ken an ultimatum to propose to her for the public to see and to realize that for them not to realize how bad things are and to prove to her that he is not going to betray her, as otherwise she's threatened to find a way to keep him out of the baby's life. Gypsy is glued to his phone 24/7, crazy obsessed. Even Rod told her it's not healthy, and why be with someone and have a kid with them if you have to watch their every move and don't want him to work out of jealousy. Y'all, this is a source, so I want you guys to make your own decision if you believe this or not. I'm just telling you what is alleged. You know, I am not a fly on the wall in their house, but this is the information I have, and you let me know down below what you think. I have another video of a part 2 coming because this person spilled a lot of tea and I was not expecting this, and that's why I didn't really post yesterday, because I was just trying to really digest this because it's a lot. This is the Gypsy Rose source part 2, and this is where it gets a bit sinister. But before I read this, I want to say this is all alleged. Okay, this is a source. I don't know this to be a fact, so I want you to use your discretion. Some of you might feel like this is real. Some of you might feel like it's not. But let me know what you feel down below, because I'm interested to know. Did you hear the allegations that Krusty has confided to her friends about the night of the unaliving? Gypsy was mocking Dee Dee during the whole thing and was giggling and enjoying it and wanting to draw it out. She was actually drugging Dee Dee in the end, not the other way around. Dee Dee was entirely reliant on Gypsy for a while before the unaliving, and Gypsy would drug her to get her out the house. She was absolutely abusing Dee Dee, and not because Dee Dee had Munchausen by proxy, which isn't true either, but because she was wanting to have intercourse, and Dee Dee wanted her to stay and take care of her, and obviously reluctant for Gypsy to leave her. Get this one. Dee Dee became bedbound and needed Gypsy's help. Dee Dee stopped caring about the scam and was ready to come clean so she could access help for herself, and so Gypsy wouldn't be left vulnerable and alone if she passed away or got worse. She was done with it all, and Gypsy wasn't. She wanted to keep it going while being allowed to bring guys home and continue to manipulate the world so that she could be taken care of, and perhaps because she enjoyed the attention and pity. Her breaking point was Dee Dee being ready to own up to everything. She was sick of it, and it couldn't benefit her in her mind anymore. She figured if there was to be consequences, that because she was in poor health, that it'll be minimal. And at that time, it would give Gypsy an out and an opportunity to start a normal life, because dying and leaving Gypsy alone was something she hated the thought of. Krusty has said many times that Dee Dee genuinely cared about Gypsy and thought she was doing right by her by providing her with the things she never had otherwise. Then Katrina happened, and she realized how she could take it further and get Gypsy a home, and so on. It started spiraling. That Dee Dee definitely enjoyed the attention too, and being seen as a good mom, unlike her own mom had been, and that Gypsy was aware of very young and was going on and grew up with the choice. If it ever got too much, they could stop at any time, but Gypsy enjoyed the act and the role playing, and often would be the one to complain about feeling hurt or sick. Gypsy unalived Dee Dee because she knew that if Dee Dee was gone, that her story would never be told, and only Gypsy's version would ever be known. She grew up with the lying and the manipulating being the norm. She was so used to getting what she wanted that the idea it'll all be taken away from her and her control being removed pissed her off. Because Gypsy was and is the control freak, and if it's not her way, if it's not in her way, Gypsy was, and oh no, if it was not in her way. If it's not her way, she doesn't care what happens to whoever is in her way. She hated that her mom refused to let her be a whore, and she hated that her mom was no longer useful. She wasn't able to benefit off of her mom's scam, and she was scared she'd be left with all the blame and repercussions on her if Dee Dee got worse and passed away, and their scam was found out. She knew her life was changing, and to gain control, she groomed Nick and planned everything out, down to drugging her mom and making her mom fully housebound and reliant on her in the meantime. She is methodical and psychotic. She has no real regret about this other than the fact that Nick isn't her clutch, so she can make sure he stays quiet about things she never is going to admit. A lot of this she admitted to Krusty and Krusty sat down praising her and cheering her on just to get the truth, but only for her own gain, not because she cares what Gypsy did. They know they don't like each other, and they both act like they do, but everything is false and strained. She hates Gypsy's voice, especially calling her mom. She rants about it a lot and has said she told Mia to make sure to not sleep in the same house ever with Gypsy unless both her parents are there. And the door is locked. Mia's man is so uncomfortable around her. She just gives him the creepy vibes, but he acts nice and polite. Most of this you probably already know. I'm just getting it off my chest, as I've heard so much in the last month or two. I feel like it's not like Krusty to confide so much about her personal life until Gypsy moved home. Krusty has motives for oversharing and actually wants people to leak the info about Gypsy. But maybe she's just sick to death of her and needs to vent. I think it's both, but Gypsy at the moment is definitely struggling with the loss of control and keeping up with her angelic persona. She can't bear that Mia and Krusty see through it and call her out a lot. And Beck cannot more than her. Hence why Ryan being on speed dial. This baby is going to cause war. Just watch for the engagement announcements in the next couple weeks. Her trying to distract everyone from seeing her true persona. They're all walking on eggshells right now, and Krusty is about to snap. And already has said a lot to Gypsy when Gypsy tries to play victim and cried to Rod about Krusty doesn't trust me to be a mom to my own baby. Yes, she's privately confronted Ken about Krusty and forced him to tell her about everything he's spoken to Krusty about and accused him of looking at Krusty a lot, but tells Krusty now how ridiculous the rumors are. These people are insane, and Mia will be removing herself from the situation sooner than later. Now she's fully realizing the extent of Gypsy's true character and needing to put her career first and protect it. So that is pretty much what they said. The rest is kind of like things to keep them confidential and like details that they don't want me to share. But y'all, I feel like some of this we kind of speculated. Now, when it comes to the unaliving, I really didn't realize that she did it more because of the scam and wanting to be out there with guys. I thought it was just for the sausage. So this kind of was like, I don't know, it was a little enlightening. I thought possibly it could have been it, but I didn't think that was the main drive. And knowing that Dee Dee wanted to put it all to the side, allegedly, just so that she could get more access to help, it makes sense because she didn't want to leave Gypsy in a bad situation. This is all really weird, but this just really shows you that everything you do will catch up with you, and really to just make good decisions, because at the end of the day, your kids could be affected by your mistakes. So this was the part 2. It was just a lot to put in one video. Yeah, I don't know what to say, but I do think it's possible that Krusty is oversharing so that the information gets out. I don't know what to think. What do y'all think? Drop it down below. Have a great day. Bye for now.